Here we go.
Oh, there it is. Hey guys. Welcome back to the channel. This video is part 5 of our 1998 Toyota Tacoma rebuilder. If you haven't already, go check out those other videos we did before you go watch this one. In the last video, we absolutely tore this engine bay apart, as you can see, trying to get at 2 exhaust valves that were actually stuck open, which was causing no compression in one of the cylinders, which made a misfire and made this engine not run smoothly. And in the last video, we actually managed to tap on one of those valves and got it free, which is awesome. But there was still one, because there's 2 exhaust valves and one of them was not coming up. So yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we tried for several days. Like, we were tapping on it and we put different types of fluids down there and everything else.
Yeah.
And it's just not coming loose. I think the only other option is that we have to take the head right off the motor.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big job. Oh man. But I mean, that's probably the only way we're gonna be able to get that valve free, because we already even took off that camshaft to get better access, but still nothing was happening. So we might have to get actually underneath the valve, which means taking off that head. So yeah, well, that's gonna be a bit more work. We'll have to take off the intake manifold, the exhaust manifold, possibly even the alternator. So let's get to it.
Here we go.
Oh, there it is. Finally got that head off. Whew.
Let's take a look at this.
Yeah, let's see what it looks like. No way, there you go. That's actually crazy, because all the other valves are down and then there's that one exhaust valve just sticking out.
Not
Wow,
turning.
wait, wow, yeah. That's awesome. Okay, at least we can actually get better access at it now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now we can try to get it loosened off,
yeah,
get it cleaned up. Hopefully we can just do it ourselves without having to send it out.
yeah.
And then
Possibly get like a piece of wood and knock on it maybe.
yeah, we'll probably pour some stuff down there, down the valve thing now.
Yeah,
And from this angle, then we can tap on it and kind of move it around.
yeah. That's crazy. Look at that shot right there.
But it's in really good shape.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Not much rust in any of the water jackets or any of the ports.
Yeah, and even when we were taking it apart, all the bolts came off really well.
Oh yeah, that exhaust manifold. Whew.
Yeah, like we were expecting the exhaust bolts to be really rusted and hard to get at.
Absolutely no rust on them. They were so good.
And
They just
it
flew
really
off.
makes me think, like, where did this truck come from originally? Because up in northern Canada here, we don't see vehicles with that clean bolts on them. So it's a possibility that this truck actually came from the
US.
southern US.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because this truck is in mint condition. I guess we're gonna get onto those valves.
Yeah, we'll get going on that next.
Yeah, so let's see if we can do something about that stuck valve.
And I'm gonna just fill it right up.
I sure hope it's not bent. That doesn't sound good.
Here we go.
There. Pour some nice oil down that valve. Ha, no way. Wow, okay, so just hammering that valve back and forth might actually be enough to fix this thing.
Yeah, it's definitely freeing up a bit.
Yeah, because that's the other one.
That one's still stiff.
Yeah, this oil actually seems to work fairly good for sticky valves. Woo. Clicked her back down.
I think we fixed it.
So we've been hammering at these two valves that were stuck down, and now they're actually recoiling properly and they're staying like stuck closed, which is how they should be. So
Yeah, they're operating totally normal now.
Yeah.
So PB blaster and a bit of that mystery oil.
yeah.
And now they're working perfectly fine.
Yeah, we might have actually fixed it without even having to take them out.
Yeah, that's a relief.
That's a big relief. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I think
DIY repair right there on a stuck valve. That's sick. So that's awesome. Yeah, so what's the next step?
well, now I guess we could just go to putting it all back together again. But we can't right now because we're still waiting on the new head gasket and the other gaskets that we need.
Yeah, so I guess we'll see you guys in a few days when we get all those gaskets here.
Several days later.
Alright guys, we're back and we got all the gaskets for everything in this truck. Starting off, we got the most important one, which is the head gasket. And this is actually a genuine Toyota part. We got it from Toyota themselves. We got the exhaust gasket, everything for the intake, and the valve cover gasket, which is perfect. And at the same time, we actually bought a whole new timing component kit because this truck was actually due for a timing replacement anyway. We don't know when the last time it was changed, so we're just going to change all that out. So that's awesome. But all this is going to be for later on. We're actually first going to go over to the head because this head's going to need a bit of a cleanup. So we're going to start off by cleaning the surface of this head and the surface of the engine so we can get this head back on the engine. So let's get to it. Alright guys, we got a lot of stuff on there. The head went on really nicely, all the cams are on, and now it's time to put in the spark plugs, but we actually originally bought the wrong spark plugs. They're supposed to be dual electrode instead of single like this one is. So we're gonna have to go uptown to our local Toyota dealership and buy the proper spark plugs. So we'll see you there. Skip to the present and I still haven't released it. But it's okay 'cause the new songs are way better. That's what it feels like. Haven't been so happy ever. Alright guys, we're back and we got the proper spark plugs here. These are genuine Toyota spark plugs, and if you can see that, these are the dual electrodes like they're supposed to be. So these are the proper ones, so we're gonna pop these in this engine and then we're gonna move on to installing the brand new timing components we got for this engine as well. So let's get to it. Alright guys, take a look at this. We got everything back on the engine, all the front end, the belt, the timing belts, all the V-belts over here. This is all new V-belts. And this actually took a long time to put back together. Probably a lot longer than the few couple minutes of this montage that just happened. But yeah, we were only working on this on evenings, and it took quite a few evenings to get this back together. But now it's back together, which is awesome. And the only thing left to put in is the radiator and condenser in the front. And we actually bought brand new radiator and condenser because the old ones were really falling apart. Take a look at this. This is the old condenser and it's just falling apart, corroding away. So we definitely needed to replace that. Also, the old radiator was leaking a bit. It definitely was a little wet down here. So I think it was leaking from age. So we just bought a brand new radiator, which is good anyway for this truck because it's a pretty old truck. So let's take a look at this new radiator we got. Come on. Oh, 1 second. There we go. Ooh, nice and shiny. That's definitely attached to some cardboard, but there you go. What on earth? It's shrink wrapped. All right, dropping her in.
There we go.
Alright guys, we just bolted in the radiator. We were just tidying up, connecting all the hoses, and then we realized that the hoses don't even match. If you look at this bottom one, this is where the old radiator would have sat, and so that's kind of weird. We actually thought at first that we didn't have the right radiator, but then we realized that this truck actually has a body lift. And you can see that right here. It's got like a 3-inch to 4-inch body lift, which now makes sense because this radiator actually had to be lowered down in order to match the body lift, because the engine, the fan had to match where the shroud was, so they had to lower it all.
So the old radiator had hardware under that. We were wondering what that was for.
Yeah, I'll actually get it right here. The old radiator had these little brackets. This was bolted onto the original holes of the radiator, and then it had a little stud that went through into the body, which makes sense because that actually lowers the whole radiator down.
Because those happen to be exactly 3 inches.
Yeah, so I guess we'll have to take the radiator out again, slap these bad boys on there, and then see, put it back in and see if the hoses match up. Wow, now you can really see how much lower that radiator sits. That's crazy.
The extra 3 inches.
Alright, so let's see if this pipe will actually fit now. Looks like it will.
Look at that.
Damn, perfect. Front end is complete. Alright, it's time to fill this truck with coolant. What do we got set up here?
I got this tool here that we took home from the body shop. This is what we use for filling coolant. It uses vacuum. Air rushes by here, which creates a vacuum, sucks all the air out of the whole cooling system. And then when we turn this valve open here, it'll suck the coolant out of our jug here, and it goes into the motor. And that way you don't have any air pockets and airlocks in there.
Cool. Alright, so I guess we'll try that out.
Okay, now we got the vacuum holding good, so now I'm going to turn the valve open.
Alright, and then it should suck it all up.
Yeah.
Whoa, there he goes.
So this is concentrate, so we'll do this whole jug here, and then the rest of it will be just straight water.
Alright, now we got a full jug of water. So the vacuum is slowly leaving.
Yeah, disappearing, and then the hoses start filling up. You can watch that hose.
Oh yeah. There it is. That is so weird. Whole system is full then, right?
Yeah, now it's full.
Alright guys, this is the big moment. The moment you've all been waiting for. We got everything back in this truck. So it's time to fire it up for the first time in a long time. So let's see if it'll run.
Fire in the hole!
Let's go! All the putt-putt is gone. This truck runs beautifully now. You can hardly even tell it's running. The only thing is that this truck is not reading any temperature. Might need a new sensor or something. There you have it guys. This truck purrs beautifully, and that is such a relief because this truck took a long time to get to this point. So if that doesn't deserve a like on this video, I don't know what does. So in the next video, we're gonna get on to the actual damage from the accident that this truck has been in. The actual rear axle housing is definitely bent. This tire is very crooked. So we're actually currently looking for a replacement housing for this rear axle. So stay tuned for the next video on that, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.